Hello, everybody. This is Robbie Parker, and I'm going to be doing my review for the new movie, Send Help. So, this movie is directed by the GOAT Sam Raimi, one of the greatest directors of all time, and everything. I absolutely love him and everything. He's directed some of my favorite horror movies with the Evil Dead movies, some of my favorite superhero movies with the Spider-Man movies, and also done a lot of other really great movies in between and after and stuff. I love All Is the Great and Powerful, which I know a lot of people don't like that one. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was great, um, and underrated. Um, For Love of the Game was pretty good. Quick and the Dead is pretty good. Like I like most of his movies and stuff. So he's one of my favorite directors, and I'd like to talk more about his stuff eventually and everything. But I wanted to review this movie because this movie is awesome. In this movie, two colleagues become stranded on a desert island, the only survivors of a plane crash. And by colleagues, it's uh, Rachel McAdams' character, Linda Little, who is uh, this shy, timid, quiet, annoying worker, and he's the new head CEO of the company, her new boss and stuff. And he's kind of a douchebag to her throughout the whole movie. You kind or at the beginning of the movie, and he really is an unlikable character. But Dylan O'Brien just does an excellent job playing that character, and Rachel McAdams is great too. And as the movie goes on, she becomes crazy and everything. She gets crazier and more unhinged as the movie goes on. But Rachel McAdams gives the best performance I have ever seen her give, and she's gave us some really amazing ones with the Hot Chick, which I think is an underrated performance, uh, The Notebook, and Mean Girls. All three of those movies were amazing to me and everything. I haven't seen a lot of her stuff outside of those really, but this is easily the best one I've seen out of all the ones I've seen. She is just absolutely insane in this movie. The story is really well written and it keeps you on the edge of your seat from start to finish and stuff. And like I said, the two leads, they carry this movie and everything. They have really good chemistry together. There's times where you think that you think you know where things are going to go between them, and then something happens and it goes in a total opposite direction. And it just, there's a lot of cool twists and turns in this movie as well. The cinematography is gorgeous too, like the shots of the island and stuff. It's just really beautiful cinematography. I love that. And there's a lot of really cool twists and turns, like I said. And Danny Elfman gives us a really great score, probably his best score since, for me, I would say at least since Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is another movie that I know most people hate, but I did love his score for that movie, and I love that movie personally. Um, but I felt like it was his best score in years and stuff, and everything. It fit this movie so well. I love the tension in this movie too. Like I said, it keeps you on the edge of your seat. There's this one scene with the two of them, and she has this knife and everything, and it doesn't show anything at all, but it makes you want to turn your head and look away, even though it's not showing anything. And it's just the magic of Sam Raimi's work. He's just very great at building suspense and tension and stuff, and this movie is full of it. And like I said, there's this one particular scene, the knife scene, which if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And it makes you cringe the entire time. And I think anytime I watch that movie, it's gonna make me cringe. Especially if you're a dude, you're really gonna cringe. Um, but it's awesome and everything. And like I said, her performance is amazing. Um, And I gotta say, Sam Raimi did a great job directing this and everything. He's one of those directors that I've always really loved, and I love it when he is able to include his style and everything. Because he's done a lot of studio movies, but this is the most Sam Raimi feeling Sam Raimi movie in a long, long time, where it felt like the movie was completely his. He didn't have the studio. They're giving him notes of what he had to do and stuff, like with Doctor Strange and everything. Although that movie did have a lot of Sam Raimi isms in it, I felt like this one had more, and I just this movie is so good and everything. Like it was a great way to kick off the year as the first movie I saw of the from this year. Although, because technically Primate is technically a 2025 movie and stuff. I saw that one too, and they made a great double feature though and everything. But this one was awesome. I really really liked this movie quite a bit and everything. So I will say, as far as negatives go, I don't have very many. The only one I would say is some of the CGI isn't the best, and everything. Mainly in the scene when the plane crashes and everything. Like, I've seen plane crashes look better and stuff, but it didn't look much worse than it did in Castaway, which is kind of weird seeing that movie came out 26 years ago. It should have looked better than Castaways and everything and stuff. Or like the movie Flight, I feel like had a better crash scene too, way better looking visuals and stuff. So like visual wise, as far as like that goes, I didn't like that. The CGI though, for the most part, isn't that bad and everything, aside from the plane crash and everything. But they're like I said, this is a really good movie, and the CGI isn't enough to ruin it for me or anything like that. I really love this movie, and it has potential to be in my top 10 of the year. I don't know if it'll make it, but I think it has a lot of potential to be one of my top 10 favorites of the year already, and it just came out, and it's just the beginning of the year, so we'll see. But if this is where movies are heading in 2026, I'm hopeful, because this one and Primate were really, really good movies and everything. So, anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Send Help, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.